Did you know that the game actually tells you when you've received a personal best in takedowns? At the end of the game, it will give you this message and let you know in the game chat. It's actually a pretty cool little feature. This is a totally fictional League of Legends chart of what League could potentially look like if it were a part of the Olympics. Now, obviously, this is fan-made, so it's not entirely accurate, but it still gives you a decent idea of what teams could look like. There are some surprisingly sad death animations in this game that you've probably never noticed before. For example, this is Tristana Dog Trainer's death animation. Why do they gotta make it so sad? This poor dog. Another example is Nunu's death animation. Willump is the only one that dies and Nunu just curls up next to him. This is too sad for League. But something that's not sad is the sponsor of today's video, Buff. Imagine a world you could earn money while running it down. Well, it turns out that world is this world thanks to Buff. Buff is an app authorized by Overwolf, a world-leading gaming app platform that you can literally earn money by playing the games I know that you guys already play. We're talking CSGO, League, Dota 2, Fortnite, Minecraft, PUBG if you still play that, Valorant, and even Halo Infinite. Buff has over 4 million users, and all you have to do to start earning is download Buff, obviously, and then just let it sit in the background, which by the way has absolutely no effect on your gaming performance whatsoever. After that, you'll earn Buff points over time, which you can use to buy these insane rewards that range from RP all the way to PC equipment. You can even earn extra points through challenges they have. Buff is completely safe, and they use the money they get from subscriptions and ads to offer you these crazy rewards. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to be giving $50 in RP away to somebody, and all you have to do to enter is download Buff for free with my link in the description, and then type hashtag downloaded Buff in the comments. All right, back to the video. Did you know that it's actually possible to get champions before they're released into the game? If you're lucky enough, you can unlock champion shards from a chest before the champion itself is added into the store. There is a 30-minute window where you can get unreleased content before it comes out. So next time you can potentially be the first person on the rift with the new champion. Did you know that Kai'Sa has the most pentakills out of any champion in pro play with 135? And that is almost double from the next highest champion, Jinx, with 72. The next highest after that is Ezreal with 58, followed by Tristana with 46. And what's really crazy about all this is that the top 13 spots all go to ADCs. So if you're always complaining about being an ADC in solo queue, all you have to do is become a pro player. Problem solved. This is an interesting one. So there is a meme going around the LPL about Poppy. More specifically, the different forms that Poppy has. Let me explain. A while ago, there was a ranked game taking place, and during that game, someone played Tristana. However, they didn't know the actual name of the character or who they were playing. When that player asked their team, they were told it was Poppy in canon form. And they said that because Poppy and Tristana's splash art looked so similar, and they were thinking of Jace and how he can swap forms. And thus, Poppy in canon form was created. From then, the joke started taking off, and every Yordle became Poppy. A lot of people think that this is Lulu, but it's actually Purple Poppy. A lot of people mistake this for being Kennen, but it's actually Thunder Poppy. This isn't Veigar, this is Mage Poppy, Bandage Poppy, Stealth Poppy, Stay Up Late Poppy, Gundam Poppy, Transform Poppy, Riding Poppy, Pet Poppy, Bomb Poppy, Aquaman Poppy, Big Head Poppy, and Aviator Poppy.
I'm Poppy.
The best part about this is that the joke has caught on so much that the casters in the LPL are starting to refer Vex as Stay Up Late Poppy instead of just Vex. It's even spreading to non-Yordle champions. Some refer to this as Poppy with a spear. Anyways, I feel like this information isn't heard enough throughout the other League of Legends communities, so I encourage you to unite and spread the word of Stay Up Late Poppy. And maybe we'll even hear Vex's true name said by casters in the LCS as well. If you look carefully, there's the little hieroglyph here of what appears to be a blue buff. Of course, I guess this could be a red buff too, but it's on the blue buff side, so I'm guessing that it's a blue buff. This was League of Legends original launcher and client, and overall, it was a pretty simple design. It of course showed your profile like it does today. It had a runes and mastery page, a champion store where you can buy all your, well, champions, but no skin store because skins weren't a thing yet. One of the things it did do that it doesn't today is show you a page of recommended items for the champion that you click on. In this case, it really wants you to go AP Ashe, which is kind of interesting. It even gives you some tips for playing as Ashe and playing against Ashe, along with a page that goes over a bit of her old lore. And this is what the summoner spells tab looked like with all the discontinued summoner spells in there. Guys, look at this distinguished Tom Kench gentleman who is asking very politely if you could poke that subscribe button. It seriously helps me out a ton, and I mean, how can you say no to such a well-dressed Tom Kench? Did you know that if Twisted Fate uses his ultimate and then is blinded, he'll get a buff that says Destiny Interrupted, Betting Blind, literally. This can work with something like Graves' W or even Nocturne's ultimate. These are the duo of Drakes that will give you the highest win rate in League. It turns out that Double Infernal is your ticket to victory. However, these are the two Drakes that give you the lowest win rate. And also apparently Cloud and Earth are not the greatest combo. The Beeline skin that Riot released to raise money for Ukraine ended up raising $5.4 million, which is pretty insane. Similarly, the Fortnite community also raised an unreal $144 million. And I want to be clear, I am not saying this to compare the two, but more to say that it was really cool to see the gaming community come together on this. Speaking of the Beeline skins though, can we talk about the names on some of these? First, we got Ziggs, Heimer Stinger, Nunu and B-Lump, and Orbiana. This has got to be creativity at its highest potential. This guy found quite the interesting bug where if Set ulted Wukong and then Tom Kench ate Wukong, Wukong would just become a part of Set. I guess Wukong suddenly decided to channel his inner Yumi, except he was on the other team and upside down. The best part about this is that the same thing happened first in a ranked game, and usually these glitches go away after they die, but instead Wukong just decided to respawn on top of Set again. So yeah, rip this guy's LP, I guess. The average amount of dragons killed when playing on the red side of the map is 2, but on the blue side of the map it is 1.88. In other words, you have better odds of getting dragon when playing on the red side. However, if you're on the blue side of the map, you're slightly more likely to get Rift Herald. Both kind of make sense since the pits are facing those sides. Did you know if you play a bot game with Wukong and then go to the scoreboard tab, then Wukong will show up as Monkey King bot instead of Wukong bot? And this, crazy enough, has actually been in the game for a really long time. So I'm really glad that Riot has kept it in. Check out this clip of one of the craziest interactions that I've seen with Camille. And it happened to the one and only Kadeem. Basically what happened here was Ashe flashed and then Camille used her ult following the Ashe over the wall, but for some reason the end of Camille's ultimate still kicked in, which naturally doesn't allow you to leave, thus pulling Ashe back to her original spot but leaving Camille on the other side. In other words, this is probably the craziest, most unintentional play from an Iron player that you will ever see. A quick disclaimer before I say this next one, I do not support buying or selling accounts, this is just for the info. Anyways, the price of League of Legends accounts may actually surprise you a bit. I'm sure most people think that the most expensive account are always going to be the highest ranked ones. However, it turns out that some of the most expensive accounts are actually the lowest ranked. I'm talking bottom of the barrel accounts, or in other words, Iron. That's right, some of the most expensive League of Legends accounts out there are Iron accounts, specifically the Iron accounts that are hard stuck Iron with Iron MMR. These are the accounts that you could win 10 games straight in a row and still get 13 LP per win just because the MMR on them is so trash. Iron accounts can surprisingly go for over hundreds of dollars, probably anywhere up to $500. For reference, you could probably buy a silver account for $5. The main reason people would want to buy these is so they can go on a win streak and see how many games they can win in a row. The goal is to keep the account in low elo for as long as possible, and the key to doing that is to have the lowest MMR possible. It's kind of messed up, but you know, it's also League, so not too surprised. This person created a pixel art animation of Jinx in her hideout from Arcane, and it's actually so detailed that it even looks like it could be its own game. Really impressive stuff. Alright, this one is actually useless. It's something I came across the other day, but I felt like I had to point it out. But there's a Poro on Howling Abyss that looks like it drank a little too much. That, or they're just hungover. Yep, that's it. In 2019, Riot hired Kim Jong-yi, a very well-known cartoonist and animator, to create a League mural. And here's a time-lapse of it. I've seriously never understood how some people can be this talented. It's actually ridiculous how good he is. Did you know that League of Legends, or I guess specifically I should say Wild Rift, will be available to play on consoles like Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation in the future? The plans for launching this recently got delayed, so it's likely we won't see this until 2023, but it's kind of exciting that you could be playing League or a version of League sitting on your couch soon. This, after all, was one of the original intentions of the game back when League of Legends was being first released, and that was for it to be played on a controller. This person made a realistic 3D model of Blitzcrank, and it looks absolutely insane. I mean, look at some of these shots. I feel like I'm looking at a car commercial. Or maybe I am. If you spam Control 3 on Nunu, you're left with Willump constantly headbutting a kid into the ground. Yep, useless information. That's what I'm here for. Did you know that if Ziggs hits his W right before recalling, then his recall circle will actually pop up next to him instead of on top of him? Again, we're really killing it with the useless info here. I know I show a lot of cosplays on here, but this has probably got to be one of the best cosplays I've ever seen. I mean, I can't even begin to imagine the effort and time put into this. This is truly a work of art. Good luck to all the future cosplayers out there because the bar has officially been set. Did you know that the Ignite animation on the client under the spell is actually a clip of the old Ignite going off? It's crazy that Riot still hasn't gone back through the client and updated these, because there's actually a lot of them. This was a fun bug that I saw the other day where Karma got 2 Luden's Tempests. Pretty pog stuff. I do love playing against 2 mythic items, especially when it's Karma's empowered Q. Good stuff. Did you know that you can now get guaranteed mythic essence by unlocking masterwork chests? Every so often, you'll hit a milestone where you'll get an extra reward too. Rumble's Super Galaxy skin was inspired by the anime Gurren Lagann, and then that skin itself inspired the rest of the Super Galaxy skin line. According to Riot, the Void isn't actually purple. In fact, according to them, it's not any color at all. Riot said it is the complete absence of light, heat, gravity, time, or any other trappings of the material plane. As I assume most of you know, Riot did some weird stuff for April Fools, and one of those things was turning you into a random object or monster when you recalled or died in the fountain. However, there was a little bit of a bug going around where you could permanently turn into these different things. How it was done was by hitting recall, clicking somewhere, and disconnecting. However, it was also very touchy, so you had to mess around with it a bit. And if you were successful, the end result was that you got to create chaos around the map as a super minion finally getting to fight back. Or perhaps a massive blue buff that just got to dance in the middle of the lane. Overall, it would honestly be pretty fun if Riot made this into a game mode. I just want to see someone playing Aurelia or someone with a lot of dashes as a turret and seeing a turret dash around like 20 times. Did you know that it's possible to use /chat filter to toggle the display of profanity in your game? Skarner's win rate substantially changes depending on what side of the map he's playing on. He only has a 47.7% win rate on the blue side of the map, but a 53.3% win rate on the red side of the map. So I guess if you want to play Skarner, always go for the red side. Did you know back in the old days, shields didn't actually show up in the health bar, so it made it extremely difficult to calculate damage when the enemy team had a champion like Janna. With the amount of shields in the game today, this would be absolutely ridiculous if it were still in the game. Okay, this one is kind of crazy and very well hidden. If you go to the patch notes and scroll all the way down to Pantheon and look at his Q Comet Spear, you can see that the letter S is used, which just so happens to be the same exact letter used for the word sandwiches. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to send your info and clips to outsidejokelol@gmail.com, and I'll see you next time. A gigantic, thick, massive shout out to my tier 3 patrons, Josh, Stefan, Senzo, Noctac, and James, and a huge shout out to my other patrons as well. Thank you guys so much. I seriously can't thank you enough. All right, bye.